Welcome to the Mrs. R Relevant Daily Draft Podcast. This is going to be a demonstration of interactive player boards. So today's date is November 25th. The player boards on the simulator are new. They've been there for maybe 3 or 4 hours. And there are several people that are asking me what makes this simulator different. So this is going to be me showing off how it is set up and how an interactive mock draft simulator works. I'm going to focus my discussion on the Cleveland Browns. So Bill Sparks, this one's for you. So what I'm going to do is go to the team needs section and find Cleveland. And the reason I'm going to do that is every team on this simulator has a different player board. So this discussion is going to center completely on the Cleveland Browns draft. So if you look at Cleveland and you go to their player list, this is a list of the players that are being fed to Cleveland whenever Cleveland picks. So this is the order it's sending the players. Okay. And I want you to observe, like, Ashton Jeanty is 7th. Okay. Now, if you look on the site board, Jeanty is higher than 7th. He's actually 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see Jeanty here. He is 6th. Okay. On the Browns player board, he's 7th. Why? Because when Browns fans have used the simulator already, they picked players that were not Ashton Jeanty. So he has started falling down the player board a little bit. Okay. For Cleveland, that doesn't mean he's falling down the site board. That doesn't mean he's falling down the board for the Dallas Cowboys or any other team. This is every team has this player board. And no matter what type of mock draft you do on the site, the player board is going to move. Okay. So we're going to come in and we're going to focus on Cleveland, and we're going to do this thing called the first round challenge. First round challenge, 5 unique first rounds for Cleveland. Okay. So it's going to go through and it's going to do a mock draft. And it does 3 picks. So it went Hunter, Johnson, Carter. Okay. So I know from talking with Bill that he likes Luther Burden. I want you to observe Luther Burden is currently 5th on the Browns board. And if you look, he's 5th here. And on the site board, he's 10th. And that's because somebody has already picked Burden once and he moved up. I'm going to pick Burden again. Okay, so my first round pick was Luther Burden. Okay, so it goes and it does another first round, and you get a slightly different first round. You can see that the player I took was taken by the simulator before my next pick. Okay, so the Browns, if this is the way it goes, I think they're going to go T-Mac based upon talking with Bill. So now I've gone Burden, T-Mac is 2 of my 5 first round picks. Okay. So then it goes through and it does another first round. And notice the guys I drafted were taken by the simulator before the Browns pick. Okay. So if Travis Hunter falls, that seems to be a really good pick. Okay. So at this point, this is where things get a little bit interesting, because you can see McMillan and Burden are off the board and it won't let me choose Travis Hunter again. So what would the Browns do if somebody traded up and got all 3 of those players? What would they do? Okay. That's why this is called a challenge. It's not meant to be easy. But players I like would be Mason Graham. Okay. And Graham was 11th on the player board at the time I picked him. And then I think they would do Will Campbell. Would they do Will Campbell over Will Johnson? There's a debate there, but I want to pick Will Campbell for actually. Let's go pick. I'm going to go with somebody a little bit further away. Let's go with Shamar Stewart. He's 15th on the player board right now. And I picked him for Cleveland in the top 4. Okay. So we have Burden, McMillan, Hunter, Graham, Stewart. So now if I go to this Cleveland player board, and we're going to go investigate specifically Graham and Stewart. So at this point, Burden has not gotten higher than McMillan yet. Okay. Notice that Mason Graham moved from, I think he was 9th and he moved up to 6th. Stewart was 15th and he just moved up to 8th on the player board. So as fans do mock drafts on this simulator, the players that the fans pick are going to start migrating to the top. Notice Ashton Jeanty has now fallen to 9th on the Browns player board. Okay. So there are 32 teams in the league. There will be 32 fan bases using the simulator. Players are going to move based on who the fans pick. So use whatever mock drafts you want. I just demonstrated a first round challenge. But there's plenty of other advanced functionality on the simulator. So for example, I just did a first round challenge right here. But I could do a second round challenge and go through 10 2-round drafts to stack the second round board the way I want it to. So this was meant to be a very short demonstration. And Bill, I see you in my chat already. So Bill, this demonstration was for you, and have fun with this. This is not your normal linear mock draft simulator. This is a simulator where Browns fans have control of who the Browns take in a mock draft relative to fans of all the other 32 teams. It should be a lot more dynamic, a lot more random. To me, that's more fun, but I can't tell you what fun is for you. I can only tell you what fun is for me. So that was a very short demonstration. I don't want this to be very long. If you have questions, please drop them in the YouTube. Please give the channel a follow on YouTube. Please follow at NFL Draft Fanatic on Twitter. So at NFL Draft Fanatic, no I in Fanatic on X or Twitter. And this channel will have daily draft content. Sometimes it's going to be a mock draft demonstration like I just gave, but we have scouting reports coming on all the players. We're going to talk about team building. We're going to analyze the championship teams. A lot of content coming for you, focused on the NFL draft. Thank you very much for watching. On behalf of draftprofessor.com and the Mrs. R Relevant podcast, my name is Jim. Thank you very much.